need to have auxiliary auxiliary systems up and running. The 3 points in step 3 are carried out by the system automatically, i.e. when it does an injection, it's going to be measuring the position of the fever in the spool inside the fever for the injection, the position of the plunger inside the fuel booster housing, and the position of the exhaust valve spindle, i.e. it shouldn't be opening. They are within range, so you can see that the values are on a light blue background. Pressing done, then we're going to do an exhaust valve operation. So someone is down in the engine room again, monitoring or evaluating the sound. Are we getting an operation of the exhaust valve? And the system is doing this for you again. We can see here we have a good position of the fever for the exhaust valve opening, and you can see the plunger at this point. That's the stationary position, so it hasn't opened, so no injection, and then we have an operation of our exhaust valve. When we get to this point here, we should, if we can't save it, we need to skip, but if you do not save it here, then it has nothing to refer to in the future. So you have to remember to press save when you are replacing the fuel booster feedback sensor and you've gone through the calibration. So now the system is saying, okay, I know what's going on. I know that these positions give me the correct movements for the fuel booster, and I know that at the positions of the fever that my plunger should be here and or my exhaust valve should be in this position as well. On this page you can also do a cyclic test of the exhaust valve, so we can make an injection and an operation, so an opening and closing of the exhaust valve. And then when we finish with that, we are able here to reboot into normal mode, so therefore we are putting the CCU back into action, so we are ready to start the engine again. This has to be done when the engine is stationary, and if you are carrying out this, you have to do it 1 unit at a time. These indicate the units you have on board, so if you have 6 units like I do, then you have 6 tabs, and if you have more, then you have more tabs across the top. Hydraulic power supply system. Here we can see that we have 3 pumps, so 3 engine-driven pumps, and what we're doing here is we are doing a function test for the swash plate, the pilot valve for the movement of our swash plate. So of course we need to say yes, I have start pump started, and I have also an assistant monitoring the position of my swash plate on the pump. And again, you can only do this 1 pump at a time. So we look at number 1, and then we go down in here, and then we can also do exactly the same as we've just done, take it into test mode, and then we can go through and order, check the position, and then save the calibration. So this is after we've done a replacement of either pump or the pilot valve itself. When we've done this, then we are able to save it and then reboot back into the normal mode here at the bottom. From us now, I will just abort the test. On the newer softwares, you can have a speed handle adjustment, so I can say that I can match my speed handle position for the bridge, ECR and LOP. What you need to ensure here is whatever you are doing, you need to ensure that it is according to the procedure in your manuals. Okay. Are there any questions to what we've just covered? Cool. In the troubleshooting folder in the maintenance screen, troubleshooting folder gives you a good indication of what this is used for. So if you have any sort of issue, trouble, fault finding, then you would also use this page here. And we can see again across the top we have these tabs: hydraulic syn unit, hydraulic power supply, events, and installation. So the hydraulic syn unit, we can see that we have tabs 1, 2, 3, 4 again for your number of cylinders, and we can see that we have the option for the MPC mode. So I can also take the MPC into test mode from this, and then I will be able to, at the bottom you can see, do an injection and a return. Using this one here, I will do a full injection. So the plunger inside the booster will go to the topmost point it can, and when you press return, it will return to the bottommost point. So inside here we will have some sort of we will have the movement of the plunger here. You are also having to have hydraulic pressure and fuel pressure, because you are actually moving the fever, actually moving the fuel booster, and actually injecting fuel. You'll be getting indications across the top here, and also here and here, when you are doing this movement. When you have done, or if you've done anything here before you start the engine, it is a good idea to purge, i.e. turn the engine, do a slow turn, and purge the units to get rid of any possible buildup of fuel on the top of the units. Okay. Here, the exhaust valve, you can either open or close. So therefore you're testing the opening and the closing position of our spindle. Or you can do a cyclic test. Cyclic test means that the system will open and close the exhaust valve for you until you stop the cycling test. Hydraulic power supply, here we can also take the MPC into test mode. Taking the MPC into test mode, if I just did this now so we can see what's going on, then we can also adjust the position of our swash plate from this screen, so giving us a good indication, a good swing through check of our swash plate position using the proportional valve for the movement. So if we have any alarms or any suspicion that we have problem with the signal to or the feedback from the pilot valve, then we can find out by here, after some time, pressing the arrow keys at the bottom, and we can see that we have plus 100, then that is going to equate to 100% ahead, i.e. 15 degrees position of our swash plate. If I was to do it to minus 100, then I am now setting it to astern position on the swash plate, i.e. 15 degrees astern. And at 0, then the swash plate is in the center point. And then I can also check down on the position of the pump. There is an indication of whether the pump swash plate is. You can also measure the amperages, as you can see, when we're getting a signal to move, the milliamp signal here sent. So we can also go to the channel in the controller and check that the signal is coming through there as well. When I'm happy with that, I don't need to set it back to 0 or whatever, or 10%. I can just press normal again, and then when we reboot, then the controller will come back online in the normal mode, and therefore it is going to use the normal the normal values from the engine itself. Just going to hop over the two folders here and go straight to the installation. Installation, this is a folder on newer installations where you have the DC-DC converters and the IRM module, the installation resistance module, as opposed to the bendy